we are. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Barnack Hour. We're here to talk about photography and Leicas, and Oscar Barnack is the guy that invented the Leica.
OB.
OB the OG. And so we have some stuff to talk about. I have notes.
That's great.
I don't need that one anymore, though.
We should jump right in.
I don't think I need that one either.
There were some people complaining that it wasn't a full hour.
Somebody wants their 22 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, when they buy the beer, they're welcome to. No, I love it. There a few people actually complained that it wasn't a full hour, and I kind of like that. But you don't want me to talk for a whole hour. Everybody's going to get bored, and the jokes start to get really, really bad. So welcome back.
They actually start out pretty bad.
They start out pretty bad, so it can only get worse. So last time we were all together, I said lots of things. Most of them I meant.
Do we have retractions? Any retractions that we have to make?
No, there's nothing I can think of. Do I have retractions?
Any offending?
No, I don't think anybody got offended.
That's awesome.
I don't think anybody got offended. How are the cameras? The Leica's working fine.
No, you're not gonna like that.
There's a little bit of cord right behind Keith. So Keith, can you move over to
Mother!
That's right over there. I'm glad I mentioned it now.
Yeah, if we'd have had to start over, that would have sucked.
Can we start?
Is that in frame?
I mean, in pursuit of perfection, you're welcome. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have a high standards. We have high standards.
We have very high standards. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually met them?
Like a finely engineered Leica.
That's right. Very finely engineered. And yeah, like the Leica, we band that in. We Messuage, right?
We Messuage.
We Messuage. All right, so we've got cameras. We've got stuff to talk about. So last time...
I've never used Messuage as a verb.
Neither have I.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have no idea if people would be offended at that. I don't really speak any German. I speak a little bit of German. Like I understand a little bit, but I really don't. I really don't speak it. So, I just kind of make it up as I go along. So we've got an SL2 or an SL. This is the regular, a basic SL with a 35 Apo. We have my M2. This is my personal camera with a 50 rigid that I found here somewhere. I don't know who it belongs to. Maybe it's yours. A 75 Summilux with an adapter that we're going to put on the SL. I have a vintage 50. Is this in frame? A vintage 50 Elmar with an adapter that we can put on this. We're going to talk about adapting lenses. We're going to talk about
not Elmer Fudd. Elmar.
Elmar. Did I say Elmer?
No, you didn't. But I was just I want to correct the viewers so that they know we're not talking about Elmer Fudd.
Right, exactly. The Wascally Wabbit, and then I have my camera, which is an M camera with an M lens. So we'll talk about all this stuff, but I want to go back to where we left off last time. You know, the beers arrived a little before. Yeah. The beers arrived before I got a chance to ask Keith the question that I meant to start out with 2 episodes ago.
So we're 2 hours behind where you wanted to start.
Technically speaking, we're 2 whole hours behind.
And we've already been on for like 7 minutes.
And we've already, yeah, that's right. So this, depending on what time zone you're in, we could be on time or we could be very late or maybe we're early. Who's your favorite photographer? Do you have a favorite photographer, like of all time? Desert Island, kind of?
Yeah, so I think the photographer that probably has inspired me or really got me interested in photography was Walker Evans.
Walker Evans, yeah.
So I kind of go back to that and look back at those images.
And you like Dorothy Lang as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Walker? Everything about Walker Evans in particular? Or is...
I just like the look at America.
Yeah.
Kind of at a point in time, the everyday sort of life of it, the struggles, and the way that he used the images to make those timeless.
And was it early on in your photographic journey that you discovered Walker Evans, or was it
Yeah,
kind of?
I would say way back in high school, I probably
Yeah.
was looking at that. So
Yeah.
long time, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. We're going to put some links and some images. So for any of you who don't know who Walker Evans was, you'll be able to explore his wonderful photography.
Unfortunately, he's not doing a Leica Academy or anything
He's
like
not
that.
doing a Leica Academy right now. If he were, it would be a very slow-moving project. He
Right.
died some years ago. But he was a WPA photographer. I
Yes.
think he was commissioned
Yes.
by the government to make Dust Bowl portraits, and he made some wonderful images. That's cool. I've been meaning to ask you that for the longest time. I feel like we sit down here, we turn on the cameras, and we just start talking about all kinds of stuff, and I lose track. But now I have I can check this off my list.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you don't, I mean, it's not necessarily the type of photography I do or anything like that. But
Right.
It's just the kind of thing that you really are drawn to. So.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah.
For me, it's Andre Kertész, who I really like and did a lot of photography with the Leica camera. I mean, when it first came out in 1926, he grabbed one and he bought one. He didn't steal it, I presume. He got himself a little Leica 1 and Model 1 and started to make photographs of everything he saw: still life, street, landscape, all kinds of different stuff. And actually, Henri Cartier-Bresson said at one point, we all owe a great debt to Andre Kertész for street photography, which is kind of cool. I didn't really know who he was until I got a book of his, and I was like, oh yeah, I know this photograph. There's like a photograph of a doorway with a vase and a flower. I think it's just called Still Life with Flower or something
Sounds
like that.
original.
But we'll put it, I know, right? So it's one of those things like, I try to take pictures like that all the time, and mine never look as good as his, which is probably what makes Andre Kertész a great photographer. Same thing with Walker Evans. I mean, there are, I think, certain things that make terrific photographs. And as we said before, I don't know that we're really going to go too deeply into that, but at least not in this episode.
Well, you said he did a number of different types of photography. I think Walker
Oh, yeah.
Evans did too. And last time we talked about Roger Fenton and some of these. And the thing is about all of this is they didn't just have one thing they did well. They kind of
Yeah.
did a lot of things well.
Yeah.
And I think we really get tied into sometimes having to do. I'm a street photographer.
Right,
or-
I'm street, I'm portrait.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fun to do all of it. So
I agree. Somebody said something in one of the comments that I feel like I need to address. I don't remember what
what
it
do we
was
need to
now,
beep
but-
it out?
Oh no, they said they made fun of my French, because I don't speak French. I mean, I can say,
Or German.
or German, really.
Barely English. Really.
I mean, if we
times.
really want to get down to brass tacks, I have a very limited lexicon. Well,
Is a lexicon, is that 5.6 or?
it's between 5.6 and F8.
Okay.
No, he said.
This isn't a lexicon,
I
is it?
said,
No.
no, that's a. So
Beep.
somebody made fun of my French, which I don't speak. And one of the things in the Fenton book was tableau vivant. I don't know how I'm not saying that right, but apparently I'm not saying that right. No,
Can we
Jesus,
can we get an
your head.
off-camera confirmation
How
on
do you
that?
say that?
Tableau vivant.
Isn't that what I said?
No.
Okay. Next topic. So we did favorite photographer. All right. So one of the things that we said we were going to talk about.
I think there needs to be a French character off camera all the time. You know? Like,
Okay.
If we get hungry for like a ham and cheese sandwich, could you tell us how that goes?
I would probably bring you a croque monsieur.
Thank you.
This is
All right.
great.
Yeah, there we go.
See, it's educational too. It's informational and educational and entertaining, but not necessarily in that order.
And not necessarily to every person.
Right.
It's a diversity of thought.
It is a diversity of thought. And being a diverse thinker myself, I was thinking that I would.
Waiting for that. What?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know. This is almost all improvised. There's nothing on these pieces of paper. No, the thing that we said that we were going to talk about that I want to talk about is photographers who are out there today who I'm looking at on Instagram and who I think are just doing really great stuff. And
So distracting. Like, you hear the offset noise?
yeah, they're packing stuff up over there, maybe opening a case of beer. I don't know
Somebody's
what they're
getting
doing.
somebody's getting their Leica in the mail, and
Right.
They're going to be happy, but for us, it's just
For us, it's just off-camera noise.
right.
Down in front.
So
No, you guys are
photographers.
fine. You guys are fine.
So
yeah. So
photographers.
last time we said that we would we wanted to bring some other names into the mix. So for example, we're going to start to do interviews here and bring other photographers in so that we have this diversity of thought to reintroduce your excellent topic. So, but for now, we thought we would mention a few photographers who are not, huge names in the industry necessarily, but are people that we're seeing on the Instagrams or here and there on digital, mainly social and digital media, who we think are doing terrific stuff. And so the first name that comes to my mind is a gentleman named Barney Cokeless, who's based in the United Kingdom. He's a film director, movie maker, and a real nice guy and a heck of a photographer, to whom I sold a dual range Summicron. It's a 50 millimeter f2 lens, and he's doing amazing stuff with it. And actually, he's just in the most recent LFI, the Leica Photographie International, some stills that he took from a movie that he made. I think it was his movie. Anyway, Barney Cokeless, we'll put a link down below. Look him up. He does terrific stuff, very kind of dreamy, but real and gritty stuff. I love his photography. I think he's terrific. And I hope that he'll visit again when he comes back to Chicago. Barney, please do. And next time we'll go out for a beer. Who else? Renata Ginsburg is a terrific photographer. I think that she's in New York. She does these like street portraits. So some of it's street photography, some of it is portraiture. And all of her photographs, most is in black and white, I think, and all of her photographs have this sense of immediacy because she gets really close. And I think that she uses a 35 millimeter lens. I'm not positive, but I think she does. And she gets very close to her subjects, and it feels like she has an involvement with them in that moment, at least that she made the photograph, or right before she made the photograph. And a lot of it's street photography, and a lot of it's portraiture, and I think it's terrific stuff.
Renata, give us a call if you use a 35 millimeter
Yeah,
lens.
we wanna
Call
know.
us right down there at 1-800
By Leica.
buy Leica, and we will. I don't know.
We'll let the world know what kind of gear you're using. No, I don't. All right, so these people, incidentally, you can see their names on Instagram, so you can have we'll give you their handles. Otherwise, I wouldn't be calling these people out by name necessarily. I wouldn't know if they would really want to have that notoriety. Would it be notoriety or would it be infamy if I mentioned their name? I don't know what it would be, but
Right now in the Ginsburg house, they're saying, "Wow, 12 more people viewed my."
Right. I had, before Tamarkin mentioned my name, I had 1,000 followers. Now I have 500. No, I think that even if you don't like her photography or it doesn't resonate with you, it's worth checking out her photography, I think, just to see what another street photographer is doing. She also
And the
happens to be
world's a mean enough place. If you don't like her photography, don't comment. below
Yeah,
here.
just shut up. If you don't like
Yeah.
it, don't say anything.
You're probably wrong. Anyway.
And this is the right. This is the thing. This is, I think, and we encourage people to be vocal. Lord knows I'm plenty vocal, but I believe I believe that if you don't
unless you're in
have
France.
right, then I don't say anything. Steve Martin did this awesome bit where he went to France, but he didn't speak the language, so he went to a restaurant and tried to order food by making the sounds of the animals that the food came from. It's very funny.
Do you know what I would order in France?
What? Say it.
Welcome, monsieur.
Go, monsieur.
Perfect.
Nicely done.
All right, so we have Barney, we have Renata.
We've got Barney, we've got Renata. Terrell Clark is based in Atlanta, and he's a fabulous photographer. Also, all of these people also happen to be very nice and very approachable and very human beings, which has a lot of weight for me. I like nice people. I'm a nice person. I like nice people. Terrell Clark is based in Atlanta. His handle is Terrell Clark Official. He's awesome. He's very, very friendly. He's a Leica guy. I think he shoots with other stuff. Also, and he's fabulous. A lot of street photography. Also kind of like Renata's portraiture. It's a combination of people portraiture and street photography. And I hope I'm not oversimplifying anybody's photography here when I describe them. Obviously, I don't have my phone in front of me, and I'm not looking at their photographs at the moment, and so I'm just kind of going off the cuff. None of
So
these,
if you're offended, call 1-800-BUY-LIKA.
like, right, let us have an earful. Ernie will pick up the phone and be happy to listen. Yeah, he's like, okay, whatever, all right, guy. So these are people that have real strong, I think, very strong photography, and I hope that more people check them out. And these are also not people that have 1 million followers or gigantic followings. These are ordinary folks like you and me and you and everybody, I think, or most people that are probably watching this show are probably wanting to learn more about Leica, probably wanting to learn more about photography, maybe have a couple laughs and see what kind of crazy shit I'm gonna say, and then, but are probably not like famous photographers. So why would they want to? They don't want to hear from me. They're off taking their own pictures. I do want to mention somebody who's a Midwestern photographer because I don't want to leave the Midwest out. Maddie Mark is a fantastic photographer. She's not a Leica user, although we're trying to bring her into the Leica fold. But she takes amazing landscape photography based in Minnesota, in and around Minnesota, I believe. Wonderful photographer, great
Beautiful
human
area.
being. Look her up, but she's great. She's very friendly. She's a terrific photographer, Maddie Mark. Look her up. She's great. And I do want to know what you think about these suggestions, but please don't air these people out. If you don't like what I'm suggesting, come to me. But if you like what you see with Barney and Renata and Terrell and Maddie, tell them. Say, Tamarkin told me to check out your Instagram. I think it's great stuff. I'd like to buy a copy of your book. These are all, we're all starving artists. I don't want to speak for anybody else. I'm a starving artist.
I'm pretty hungry myself. So I've got 2 names to add to the list.
Yeah. What do you
And
got?
I would say this. I would say that sometimes I think we get so caught up in our day, we don't take time to look at other people, just sit and look at other people's photography.
Yeah.
That's the way to really make yours better, right?
I think so too.
So, okay, here's 2 names I have.
Okay.
The first one is a friend of mine up in Milwaukee. His name is Patrick Strom.
Oh yeah.
You know Patrick
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
I met him a couple of years ago, and he actually he's the one who put me onto the whole Plowbell W67. He got me all worked up about that.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I had to
Wait,
buy
I
one.
think I just saw a post from him today about a plowable. Actually.
Well, his website's great. His Instagram is great as well, and he does some really great. He teaches photography, he teaches art, he paints as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he teaches at the university up there. So, yeah, good stuff to look at. Really interesting. Did a series last year in the winter in Milwaukee that was just fascinating.
I think I saw some of
There were
that.
just houses in his neighborhood, right? But it was really
Oh yeah.
quiet still.
Yeah.
It was Milwaukee.
Yeah.
right?
I remember this.
So the other person is Lindsay Linton Buck, who she's a photographer in Wyoming and out in Jackson,
Yeah.
and she has a project called Women in Wyoming,
Oh, cool.
and so she does that same type of thing. It's portraiture, but it's portraiture in their environments.
Yeah.
And she's shining a light on women in Wyoming. And
Nice.
she herself, being a female photographer, has this huge project. She, I think, primarily shoots medium format, but again, a really good, a great project as well. And I like the fact that both of those photographers really do look at their work in projects. They look at
In a long format, in a
Yeah.
project
yeah,
format.
that project isn't necessarily ever ending, but it's an
Yeah.
ongoing, growing thing. So
Well, I like
both
that.
of those 2 are great.
We should talk about that one. We should talk about that one of these days. Project and process. And
Yeah, but if you write that on there, you can't throw that piece of paper then in the back.
no, this is the last piece of paper. And when I get to that one, I won't be throwing it away.
Okay.
Lindsay Litton Buck.
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 B-U-K.
Okay. Lindsay Litton Buck. So we'll have links down there, and you can check all this out. So,
They're on the internet.
they're on the internet.